Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here. My name is Judd Ashman. I have the honor to serve you as mayor of the greatest city in the world, Gaithersburg, Maryland. And with me this evening, we're just going to go down the row. We have Council Vice President Ryan Spiegel, Councilmember Neil Harris, Councilmember Lorianne Sales, Councilmember Robert Wu, our friend and colleague Mike Sesma is out on travel for his day job and very much regrets missing this, but we appreciate him. At the end, we're going to get to the city manager in a sec, but at the end we have our current junior mayor and our incoming junior mayor, but we're going to introduce them shortly, so hang on for that. I want to keep you guys in suspense. City Manager Tony Tomasello. Somewhere in this audience, we have Deputy City Manager Dennis Enslinger. Where's Dennis? There he is. And we have a lot more introductions to go, but we're going to take a break from that, and we're going to move on to our Police Honor Guard to present the colors. And if I can ask everyone to please rise. I'd like to ask our junior mayor, Pirani Cannon, to join me up here and lead us in the pledge. Yeah, go ahead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Taking time to reflect on the contributions and sacrifices of others is important. We remember friends and family, colleagues and coworkers who have passed, and we honor those who we may not know personally, but who nonetheless have made the ultimate sacrifice on our behalf. Please join me in a moment of silence as we remember all those who've touched our hearts. Thank you. Honor Guard, you may now retire the colors. Please be seated. Let's give our Honor Guard a round of applause. Tonight we celebrate people from all walks of life who have chosen to make Gaithersburg their home. We are a better and stronger community because of our differences and because of our similarities. We especially celebrate the tireless volunteers who give so much of themselves in service to others. Would everyone who is a member of a board, commission, or committee, or who volunteers or serves the city in any capacity not paid, please stand? We are so grateful to you. And Gaithersburg, we're going to get to the paid ones right now. Gaithersburg is so fortunate to have many creative and dedicated civil servants working on your behalf. Would all those who work for the city please stand and be recognized? And while we're in the thanking mode, we should thank our very special friends here at Asbury Methodist Village for hosting this event again and for being such a wonderful neighbor and partner for these past 90 years. Let's give them a round of applause. So we're fortunate to have a number of dignitaries in the audience, and I'd like to recognize everyone. We're going to start with federal officials, and what I'll do is I'll just read the list, and then we'll do the clapping after, because otherwise it'll take forever. And everyone, you know, we love them. Everyone knows that. We don't need individual. We can share it. So. We're going to start at the federal level, representing Senator Chris Van Hollen, Lillian Cruz, from our Maryland State Delegation, District 17, which represents Gaithersburg. I haven't seen Senator Cheryl Kagan, but she's supposed to be here, and I'm sure she will. And we have our delegate, longtime delegate and chairman of the Transportation Environment Committee, Kumar Barve, and Delegate Jim Gilchrist, and District 14 Delegate Pam Queen. From the Montgomery County Council, we have our former mayor and County Council member Sidney A. Katz. It's hard to hold back the applause for Sidney. It really is. From our sister city in Rockville, we have Mayor Bridget Donald Newton. We have Rockville City Council members. We're gonna give everybody a big round of applause. Rockville City Council members Virginia Onley and Julie Polakovich-Carr, who are seated over there. We have from the Montgomery County Board of Education members Rebecca Smondrowski and Jeanette Dixon. We have, where are we? Okay. Deputy Clerk of the Court, Barbara Mecklejohn, Mayor of Washington Grove, Jolie McCatherine. Former elected officials, former Gaithersburg Mayor Bruce Goldenson, former City Council member and 2016 Citizen of the Year Yvette Monroe, former City Council member, I agree, former City Council member Dolly Kildee. We're also pleased to be joined by Gaithersburg Police Chief Mark Sroka, Montgomery County Fire and Rescue Chief Scott Goldstein, Montgomery County Recreation Department Director Gabe Albernaz, Gaithersburg High School Principal Christine Handy, who is sadly leaving us at the end of this year, but to pursue a really amazing opportunity. I wanted to recognize the Executive Director of Asbury Methodist Village, Rob Liebreich, who is here. Tell you what, let's do a round of applause for those we've named thus far. Because it is a long list and a lot of applause to share. So we have former Person of Character awardees in Gaithersburg, Mary Canaperi, Reverend Hal Garman, Maureen Herndon, and Janet Newman. We have distinguished friends from previous years, 2007, Jerry Gimmel, also representing the 1996 outstanding organization, Hospice Caring, Inc. From 2011, Steve and Lori Augustino. From 2016, Bill Schlossenberg. From 2017, Ken Weiss. We have representatives from outstanding organizations. From 1990, Gaithersburg, Washington Grove Fire Department, represented by Steve Hayes and Gary Walker. 1998, Gaithersburg Help, represented by Margot Goldman, but also Janet Newman. 1999, Gaithersburg Germantown Chamber of Commerce, represented by Laura Rolls. 2001, The Dwelling Place, represented by Lisette Engel. 2010, Bank on Gaithersburg, with Wells Fargo Bank Representative Courtney Doramus. 2017, Liberty's Promise, represented by Bob Panichtera and Julian LaBeach. We have distinguished citizens from 2003, Britta Monaco, Charlie Farrell, who is also a Person of Character awardee, and we're gonna have to break the applause rule because Charlie turns 90 on, I think, Sunday or Monday. Let's give him a round of applause. 2006 Distinguished Citizen Eileen Shea, and 2015 Distinguished Citizen Jim Savitz. Okay, let's give everybody another round of applause. So now, to formally introduce our junior mayors, I'd like to call upon our newest city council member, Lori Ann Sales. Lori Ann.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us for this wonderful celebration of our city and our awesome residents. We want to thank you for all that you do on a daily basis to make this place a wonderful place we can all call home. Tonight I have the pleasure of introducing our incoming and outgoing junior mayors. For the past 11 years, fourth graders have been invited to enter an essay contest to tell us what they would do if they were mayor of Gaithersburg. Through the essay and subsequent video interview process, a junior mayor is selected to represent the youth of our city. This year, we received more than 100 essays, all focused on the theme of Live to Lead. When asked during his interview who a role model is in his life, our young junior mayor thoughtfully responded that he admired Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. for how he believed everyone should be treated. You don't have to like everyone to be friends with everyone, but you do have to respect everyone, our junior mayor said. Incorporated into the junior mayor program is an opportunity for our young representative to host a community service project at his school in which the mayor and my colleagues on the city council will be involved. We look forward to exploring his ideas on how to make Gaithersburg a better place. I'm pleased to introduce the 2018 junior mayor, Zaid Zailahuddin, a fourth grade student at Dufif Elementary School. We look forward to working with you, Zaid, and having you attend events with us throughout the year. Zaid will be joining us at the Mayor and City Council meeting on May 21st to be officially introduced to the public and to read his essay. Tonight I have a certificate for his appointment. All right. Okay. All right. So it takes remarkable maturity and poise to speak at events like this and to represent an entire community of young people. Our current junior mayor, Purani Kannan, has performed this task admirably. You've seen her many times this past year, and she has been at celebrations, ceremonies throughout the city. This personable young lady is now in the 5th grade at Diamond Elementary School, and tonight she will be turning over the reins to our new leadership.
Fellow Gaithersburgians, it has been a proud moment for me to deliver my parting marks today as the outgoing junior mayor. It has been a complete year of fun and learning, attending public ceremonies and events throughout the year. The book festival was awesome. Riding the VIP trolley during the parades was very special because my compartment had my name and designation written on the top. Meeting and waving at the crowds gathered on the sides of the road, all along the trolley route, and throwing souvenirs for the people to catch. Seeing my friends and classmates en route while on the trolley was another fun part. But the best part of having served junior mayor is the opportunity to organize a community service project in my school, where I collected winter accessories and other essentials for the homeless. I had the opportunity to hand over the donations to the needy people in person with my own hands during the Homeless Resource Day organized by Montgomery County. Nothing in my one-year term has made me more happier than this, because this was the moment I was able to bring about smiles in the faces of more than 100 of those needy people. An unforgettable day, the best moment of my life so far. I am grateful to the city of Gaithersburg for giving me the privilege of hosting this project. More than the privilege, I thank the city for trusting me in the first place and handing over this project for me to accomplish. The city staff, the mayor, and the city council members were all very friendly and encouraging, and I enjoyed working with all of you. My school principal, Mr. Walder, was very helpful while I did the project in school. I also owed this success to my beautiful family members who are here today. During the past year, I posed for a lot of photos my dad took. He is my photographer. He drove me around the city tirelessly to every single public event. My mom was like my secretary for the whole year. She helped me communicate with city staff through emails and also accompanied me wherever I went for safety reasons. My older brother, my consultant, guided me to take good decisions. Stepping out of this role will definitely not stop me from being involved in helping the needy. I will work for this community in some other form. Whenever I see the Gaithersburg logo, I mean the green tree symbol, I feel like I have helped this tree grow by watering this tree for a year. I am glad now that I now have a special place in the history pages of the greatest city in the world, Gaithersburg, Maryland. Wherever I live in the future, Gaithersburg will always have a special place in my heart. Gaithersburg is my home. Gaithersburg is my city. It was a great honor to serve you. Thank you, Gaithersburg.
All right, get the Kleenex. Thank you, Parani, for those beautiful words. We are very proud of your accomplishments, especially the wonderful service project you conducted at your school to help the homeless. We know you will continue to do great things to help our community. The mayor and members of the city council join me in expressing our sincere appreciation for everything you and your family have done. We wish you all the best for what we know will be a very successful year, very successful future. Now I believe, yes, we have our next speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorianne. So at this time, I'm going to invite the council and staff and our junior mayors to take seats, and I'm going to lower the screen and we'll get this show on the road. The thing about this screen is you lower it, and I hope it's the right level. We're going to see. Anyway, there is a particular phrase we've used in our messaging over the past year, the purpose of which is to demonstrate our pride in the community, to reinforce our commitment to protect the rights of every man, woman, and child who chooses to live here, to celebrate our differences, to highlight our common bonds, and reassert that this is indeed the greatest city in the world. That phrase is, "We are Gaithersburg." This evening, we're going to dig into just a few of the elements that make us who we are, and I'm going to tell you a few stories about how we do what we do and what an impact we as a local government, as business owners, as educators, and as involved citizens have on our community. Together, we do great things. So the first story I like to call, Are There Any Haunted Buildings on Montgomery Village Avenue? Providing a safe environment is a core function of any government, from outfitting every one of our police officers with body-worn cameras to clearing snow and ice from roadways and sidewalks. We make efforts each and every day to ensure that our residents can rest easy knowing that they're reasonably safe. Safety also means that the buildings we work in and the houses that we live in are structurally sound, and that's the job of the Permits and Inspections Division within our Planning and Code Administration. So flash back to last August. There's a building at the corner of Montgomery Village Avenue and Russell Avenue. It's 6 stories tall. There's a RE/MAX office in there, among other things. If you haven't been in it, you've driven past it a million times. So we got some strange reports from some of the tenants. There was a loud, unexplained noise at one point. One of the offices had a window inexplicably shatter, and another had a door that was seriously out of alignment. Now, I'm not a building inspector myself, so I'm pretty sure my first thought would have been poltergeists. Notwithstanding that theory, our intrepid permits and inspections team got right out there. Turns out the bottom part of the columns that support the building had been submerged in water that was trapped under there, and this created a danger for the steel I-beams around the building's perimeter. And if no one notices, these support structures fail, and we have a building collapse on our hands, which, by the way, gets us to the same result as a poltergeist. Not good. Our team immediately revoked the use and occupancy permit for the building, which is to say we shut it down. Shutting down an entire office building occupied by dozens of businesses with hundreds of employees is a serious matter and not something we do lightly. We're not that stereotypical government that gets in the way of people's lives and businesses. What makes us different is not anything actually about the process of inspecting or condemning the building. It's what we did to get it back open. Our permits and inspections team spent a ton of time, both on-site and in meetings and calls with the building owner, contractors, and engineers to keep the process moving along as smoothly as possible. We allowed, as a special exception, the building owner and contractor and design team to proceed with remediation prior to obtaining a permit. That's certainly not a common practice. The building's owner stayed in close contact with us, and our staff reviewed everything as quickly as possible. Less than 6 weeks later, tenants were back in that building. 6 weeks. If the parties hadn't worked together so closely, it likely would have been months before those businesses could have been up and running again. The building owners hosted a welcome back lunch for their tenants, and they invited our permits and inspection staff to join in celebration. I mean, seriously, how often do you hear about the work of permit inspectors actually being celebrated? It's a vital service, but usually a totally thankless job, but not for our team. Thus far, I'm happy to report no further indication of paranormal activity, but let's give our permit staff a well-deserved round of applause. We're often told that when companies choose to locate in Gaithersburg, one of the selling factors is the attention they receive and the relative speed with which planning, development, and permitting services are rendered. We don't cut corners, we don't jeopardize safety, we don't push things hastily through the planning process, but we do recognize the importance of working closely with our business partners, giving them the attention they deserve to get projects up and running, which in the long run is good for us all. So, next story is called The Spaces Between the Notes. Just a couple weeks ago, we celebrated Gaithersburg's 140th birthday. Back in 1878, we were recognized by the state of Maryland as a town, with our commissioners at the time being given the authority to establish laws to govern a community that was growing by leaps and bounds since the coming of the railroad just a few years prior. Headline from this picture, I should note, is that relative to the cake we cut for our 100th birthday, which looks to be straight out of the wedding scene from The Godfather, we've downsized significantly. That, by the way, that's Bruce Goldenson looking like Fredo up there. The commercial center of our growing community at the time was what we now call Old Town, located around the intersection of Summit and Diamond Avenues. You can still find remnants of the city's past. For example, our train station and freight shed, which now houses our wonderful community museum. The facade above Diamond Drugs with the date preserved on the building served as a reminder of our history. The Belt Building, which is now home to Green Growers, has at times been a library, a department store, and even a car dealership. There's still a granary and a cannery, both repurposed for 21st century uses. As the city grew and as neighborhoods sprang up, the businesses in Old Town were no longer the only game in town. We now have, as you all know, several downtowns in Gaithersburg, commercial centers at Rio, Crown, Kentlands, and with the eventual completion of the Watkins Mill interchange at Parklands. But the legacy of our city is not just embodied in our buildings and homes. Like the brief silences between notes in a beautiful song, we are also defined by our green spaces. Let's talk about some of the newer green space projects, starting with Old Town Plaza, which is intended to bring new life and streetscape to that city historic center. The plaza is open now, but we're not quite finished outfitting it with all of its accessories. When we're done, a little later this spring, you'll find an umbrella forest, a patio near the train station, removable furniture so we can be flexible when we want to have unique activities in the space, and best of all, a splash fountain to play in. What mayor doesn't want to run around barefoot to cool off on a hot summer's day? Green spaces are vital to a community's health and well-being. They give us an opportunity to get out and exercise. They offer us a place to meet our neighbors. They provide habitat for native wildlife. And to get more technical and less poetic about it, they often serve an important role in stormwater management. We're expanding our green spaces with the addition of 2 more parks that will come online in the next couple of years. We acquired the former Consumer Product Safety Commission property off Route 28 and will be repurposing it with a nature play space and an amphitheater and perhaps some community garden plots. There's a multi-purpose building that's still on the site which we might use for recreational programming. Also in the works is a new park on Orchard Ridge Drive next to MedImmune. Construction's anticipated this fall. This new park will include play structures, benches, covered picnic tables, and marked walking paths. It's important that people in all neighborhoods have access to open spaces. On the city's website, you'll find an interactive map that allows you to drop a pin at a given location and see what parks and open spaces are nearby. In one simple click, you can then explore the recreational amenities at those parks. It's really a great use of technology to help bring you back to nature. Our green spaces also host community building activities such as Summerfest at Borough Park, Oktoberfest in and around the Kentlands Green, Winter Lights at Seneca Creek State Park, and of course the Book Festival in the space around City Hall. Next story, what I like to call municipal diplomacy. In a recent study, Gaithersburg was once again ranked the #1 most diverse small city in America. Among all cities, we're #2, the second most diverse behind, and this list includes places like New York, San Francisco, LA, Miami, Chicago. Only Jersey City, New Jersey outranks us, and we're coming back for our title. As you all know, this is not a first for us. Gaithersburg has been at the top of the list for the past 3 years and probably longer. That's as long as the list has existed, so probably longer than that. And the council and I take it as a great source of pride. It means that we embrace people of all backgrounds and we celebrate what those cultures add to our community. What's interesting is these rankings have also garnished such attention that it puts us in the position of serving as sort of an international emissary for diversity and inclusion, which is a rare and amazing position to be in. For example, last year I had the unexpected pleasure to be interviewed by W. Kamau Bell for his feature on his CNN program, United Shades of America. We had a good laugh at the irony of the most diverse city in America having this average middle-aged white guy for its mayor, although, to be fair, very good looking. That wasn't a laugh line. That was. But then, thank you, Rob. But then we had a thoughtful conversation about what inclusion looks like in Gaithersburg and why we are staunchly committed to it. Back in December, we hosted a municipal delegation from Shenzhen, China, a community of nearly 13 million people. We had a great conversation about our community, economic development, innovation and growth, and what municipalities can do to find the right balance. In January, we were contacted by the U.S. State Department, who brought TV and radio broadcasters from Latvia. The Latvian contingent was interested in exploring how communities in the United States welcome and integrate people of diverse backgrounds. Naturally, Gaithersburg was high on their list. So we introduced them to adult ESOL students at the Boer Parent Resource Center, as well as young people who participate in immigrant-focused after-school groups with Liberty's Promise and Identity. And a number of us, including our police chief and my colleagues on the city council and members of the Multicultural Affairs Committee, did on-camera interviews. So rest assured, at some point before or coming, Gaithersburg will be showing its best self to TV viewers all over Latvia, so you know. And just last month, Montgomery County officials asked us to host a visiting delegation from Gondar, Ethiopia, a city of about 800,000 people. We were delighted to meet with the mayor, two members of his staff, the president of Gondar University. We talked about our respective communities, infrastructure, maintenance, economic development, housing, and safety net services. So, over the past year, I've been somewhat facetious in referring to all these sorts of experiences as municipal diplomacy, but on another level, it's an honor. It's a tremendous honor to have a chance to play that role and share our city's values with the world. Next story, I like to call Chloe. Can I get a loan? You'll see why. This is not her real name, but I'd like to introduce you to Chloe. Chloe is a single mom who'd been struggling to make ends meet on a monthly basis. Then she came across the Mayor's Financial Fitness Challenge, and I will note that name parenthetically is no reflection on this mayor's financial fitness. Modeled after similar programs in other municipalities, the Financial Fitness Challenge in Gaithersburg was a year-long initiative to help residents improve their financial well-being. It was hosted by Bank on Gaithersburg and by our Financial Wellness Coalition, two organizations coordinated by our Community Services Division that connect residents with resources to increase their financial security. As part of the challenge, participants accrued points and earned monthly incentives when they worked with our partners to do things like open bank accounts, enroll in financial education and vocational training classes, develop a budget, and encourage their kids to save too. In all, we had about 40 families participating. Chloe's story is particularly impressive. Chloe attended 4 financial workshops and participated in 6 sessions of an online program called My Budget Coach. She opened both checking and savings accounts. She took advantage of free one-on-one vocational counseling, and she actively participated in a job club to learn from and share with others. She also got free assistance to develop her resume. When all was said and done, by the end of the program, Chloe had paid down 10% of her debt. She increased her credit score by more than 140 points, taking it to a solid 683. She added nearly $1,000 to a money market savings account, and here's the best part. Chloe went from working a part-time job making $12.50 an hour to obtaining full-time employment with AstraZeneca with a salary just north of $100,000. And she did all this in just 1 year. How great is that? Now, Chloe deserves all the credit for recognizing the challenges in her life and taking action to do something about it. We're proud of her. But I'll further say that the City Council, the staff, and I are enormously proud of what we as a community, you as businesses and volunteers, do to support those who need our assistance. You help us welcome recent immigrants into our community and make them feel at home here. You mentor our young people and provide them with engaging after-school activities. You allow us to offer health and mental health services to the uninsured. You feed the hungry, you house the homeless, and you provide supports so that our older residents can stay in their homes. You provide training and jobs, and you give selflessly of your time, talent, and energy so that every Chloe has the opportunity to succeed. Please give yourselves a round of applause. Last story, the case of the murdered mayor. Did that catch your attention? Caught my attention. In the year 1835, follow me now, the year 1835, the mayor of a city called Bonningham, Germany, was assassinated. His name was Johann Heinrich Rieber. That's my best German accent right there. And we should all say a prayer for my fellow fallen mayor. But the case went unsolved for a long, long time. It turns out the assassin had fled Germany for America and somehow ended up in the United States Army, where he eventually died in Mexico during the Mexican-American War, defending, of all people, Robert E. Lee's position. But it wasn't until 1872, about 25 years after the assassin's death, that a gentleman by the name of Frederick Rupp, who was a German immigrant in Washington, D.C., provided the tip that connected everything and helped solve the murder. Now, Mr. Rupp was entitled to a reward for helping solve this case, but he apparently never went back to Bonningham to collect. Flash forward, an American-born lady, Anne Marie Ackerman, moved to Bonningham, Germany around the year 2000 and got interested in this wild tale. She researched both the German and the American archives to put the story together and recently published a true crime book about the whole thing called Death of an Assassin. What's more, in seeking to bring full closure to this 183-year-old matter, she traced Mr. Rupp's descendants in hopes of presenting the reward money, which is, it's like 1,000 pounds or something. It's not a huge amount, but anyway, guess where she found 2 of the 4 descendants? Right here in Gaithersburg, in Lakelands. And guess where the reward money is going to be presented? At the Gaithersburg Book Festival on May 19th. Oh, there's more. There's more. Guess who's coming to deliver this reward money? The current mayor of Bonningham, Germany. His name's Cornelius Bamberger, #Municipal Diplomacy. This is what I've been telling you guys about. We have presented hundreds of amazing stories at GBF, but I don't know if they get any more wild and crazy than that one. So, yet another reason to be with us on May 19th at the 9th Annual Gaithersburg Book Festival. You knew this was coming. Once again, we have an amazing lineup of authors coming from all over the country and beyond to meet us, tell us about their latest work, and sign books. Some of these authors include the great Alice McDermott, winner of the National Book Award and Pulitzer Prize finalist multiple times. Madeline Miller, whose new book, Circe, is, as we speak, the #1 book on the New York Times bestseller list. Gail Forman, who's best known for a novel, If I Stay, which was made into a major motion picture, and now she's going to be talking about her new one, I've Lost My Way. Hall of Fame sports writer John Feinstein, who's been at the festival many times and is absolutely captivating. We have legendary picture book illustrator Dan Santat, winner of the Caldecott Medal, among many other awards he's gotten. The absolute king of pop-up books. It's a real art. Pop-up books is a real art. Robert Sabuda is the king of it, and not only is he going to be talking about his latest pop-up book, he's going to be giving a workshop to teach kids a little bit about the art. That's really cool. Erin Danielle Russell, who is one of the authors of the popular Dork Diaries series and is branching out with her own new picture book. We have political pundits E.J. Dionne and Bill Press, who you may remember Bill Press from CNN's Crossfire? Crossfire was like the original show where they yelled at each other. There was political shows before Crossfire, but they really started yelling at each other at Crossfire. Bill Press was from there. And then we have mega popular cookbook author Mark Bittman, who's got another in his series of How to Cook Everything, How to Grill Everything. So those are just a few of the highlight authors. As always, the Gaithersburg Book Festival is free to attend, free to park. Great books, great food and drink, and other items will be available for sale on site. It's an outstanding opportunity where we once again, as a city, we get to showcase our community to attendees from all over the region and to TV viewers from all over the country who are watching on C-SPAN Live. And we hope you'll join us. I know the people in this room have been incredibly supportive of the book festival, and we hope you'll continue and bring friends and colleagues. We appreciate your support so much. So Saturday, May 19th, grounds at Gaithersburg City Hall. Find all the information you need at GaithersburgBookFestival.org. Okay, my plug is over. You've gotten through it. Okay, let me wrap this up by saying we have a rich history here. And we look forward to a really vibrant future. Tonight, I told a few stories, each of which was intended to shed a little light on who we are and the principles that guide us. But there's so much more to share with you. I encourage you to read our magazine, subscribe to our newsletters, follow us on social media, and come out to a public meeting. Please engage with us in whatever form works best for you. I am proud every day to represent a community where our shared principles allow us to be compassionate, tolerant, thoughtful, and civil, while also fulfilling our duties to be both responsive and responsible. Every time I've seen those words, "We are Gaithersburg," it makes me smile because it reminds me that each and every one of us is part of this great fabric of this community, and we each have this important chapter to write in our collective story, and that story will be legendary. So let's do great things, Gaithersburg. Thank you all very much for being here. Thank you. So now we're going to move to our Citizenship Awards, and we're going to start with a video. Our Citizenship Awards, as you know, recognize organizations and individuals who give tirelessly of their time and energy to make our community a better place. Before we recognize them individually, we'll come back up to the stage to do that. We're going to play this short video that will highlight their contributions.
We are Gaithersburg. We are young, we are not so young. Some of us were born here, some of us just arrived. We come here from countries all around the globe to work and live here. We are all part of a tight-knit community whose residents, business owners, volunteers, and elected officials have one thing in common: a desire to live in a place where mutual respect is admired above all. Gaithersburg's 2018 Citizenship Award winners exemplify that spirit. These individuals and organizations represent different aspects of our community, but their empathy, their imagination, and their dedication joins them together as ambassadors for good. Distinguished friend, Larry Loon. Larry Loon started working at his parents' apartment complex as a young boy. He is now the majority owner of Larkin Apartments in Old Town. Larry is not just a landlord. He offers housing stability to Gaithersburg residents with an unparalleled level of compassion and respect.
Larry is not just a landlord, a property owner, a business person in the city. But in Larry's business, he provides a critical service in affordable housing in the city.
He provides a stable living environment. So if you can't afford your rent, you're really going to be struggling with every other aspect of your life. So when you are fortunate enough to live at Larkin, your rent is affordable and you're living somewhere safe. And you have a landlord that cares about you.
Larry is an outstanding person, amazing, exceptional. He's very honest man. He always is taking care about everybody. He make us happy to live here in these buildings.
I work with his tenants who are late with their rent. We help maintain their housing. We don't really hear from a lot of Larry's tenants. He's very patient and he works with families so they don't get to that court notice.
Gaithersburg City has always been a jurisdiction that has valued people and has tried to include people from all over. Larry exemplifies that because Larry's a person who is a businessman in the city who links his own faith to the everyday lives of people in the city through his business. And I think Larry is a true example of a Gaithersburg citizen in that way.
Outstanding organization, Chinese Culture and Community Service Center. The Chinese Culture and Community Service Center is like a family, a really big family. Through dozens of programs, it provides care for the oldest, it nurtures the youngest, it feeds the hungry, it offers health care for all, and it cherishes and celebrates a shared cultural heritage.
We try to serve the need of the Chinese community, also try to continue the Chinese culture in the United States. One of our major programs right now is the Adult Daycare Center, which we provide breakfast and lunch, and also the activities in between, including taking them to see their physicians as a primary care. The other program is the Pan Asian Clinic, which is a volunteer clinic. We have about 15 physicians volunteer to provide the medical service to those people who doesn't have insurance. The after-school program is really designed to help the working family. We actually use the bus to pick up the kids from the various elementary school and to the center. We provide them some guidance in doing their homework with some snacks, then language education, so the kids just love those activities which they don't usually get exposed to in the regular school. It is important to have a diversity because it provides a variety of cultural exposure to the resident of the Gaithersburg, and also the enjoyment of the various culture of the world in the city of Gaithersburg.
Distinguished citizen Michael Bucci. Mike spent nearly 40 years of his life teaching, and although now retired, he's still at it, teaching us all the true meaning of social responsibility. As a self-described professional volunteer, Mike impacts our community with an infectious energy and a desire to make a difference. Whether it's stocking shelves at a food pantry, volunteering as a bereavement counselor, or entertaining all of us with his music, you can't help but be inspired.
I have been blessed. I pinch myself every day. For the most part, I'm no different from someone else that needs a helping hand. And so for me to have the opportunity and ability to give a helping hand, it just feels really, really good. I love how Gaithersburg takes care of everybody, and I get to be a part of that. Gaithersburg does a great job of involving its citizens and creating opportunities for citizen involvement, citizen input. What more could you want? Involvement in things in Gaithersburg could be as little as an hour, a part of a day, or a day-long event. It feels like I made the most out of the gift of that day. The idea of we are Gaithersburg, I look around and I see such diversity here, and I know that I am a part of that diversity, and whether I'm a majority or a minority doesn't really matter, but I am a part of the we, which is the beginning of the U.S. Constitution, isn't it? We the people.
Our 2018 Citizenship Award winners exemplify what we all should aspire to do what is right and to do what is good, not for the recognition, but for the pure satisfaction of knowing that what you do makes a difference. Gaithersburg is proud of all of its residents. We're all different. We're all the same. We are Gaithersburg.
So let's give our video production team a great round of applause. Great job, guys. So I'd like to invite Councilmember Robert Wu to award our distinguished friend. Robert.
Good evening, everybody. Our 2018 distinguished friend, Larry Loon, is an admirable person. His parents built the 44-unit Larkin apartments in Old Town 60 years ago, and he worked there as a young man, helping his mom with the management after his dad passed away in the early 1970s. He purchased a majority share and has operated Larkin himself since 1994. Larry is so much more than a property owner and a landlord. He supports economic development and advocates for issues through his membership on the Old Town Advisory Board, and he ensures fair representation on rental matters through his active involvement on the Commission on Landlord-Tenant Affairs. Perhaps Larry's most significant contributions stem from his compassion. He has a long-standing reputation for being both caring and collaborative, working with city staff and other nonprofit agencies to provide affordable housing options to Gaithersburg residents. Larry maintains his property in such a way that his tenants feel dignified and respected. He is flexible and creative when it comes to keeping his residents housed, thus providing them the stability they need to pursue their dreams in our community. For his significant, long-standing contributions to the Gaithersburg community, it gives me great pleasure to present Larry Loon with the 2018 Distinguished Friendship Award. Larry, if you want to come up.
Didn't expect this, did you, Maureen? This is such an honor, and thank you very much to the City of Gaithersburg, Judd, and the council members. They've been so supportive to our family and the apartments for just years and years, and to the city, too. I'd like to special thanks to Kevin Roman with Neighborhood Services and his staff. They've always been supportive, and particularly Maureen Herndon and her community services staff for their years of dedication and assisting us and all the tenants in the city of Gaithersburg. I want to thank my lovely wife, Debbie, for her assistance and support, and also my daughter, Lindsay, and Kendall, who's not able to be here. Our goal has always been to provide a clean, safe, and affordable housing for the community. So thank you very much for this honor.
Now I'd like to invite Councilmember Neil Harris to award our Outstanding Organization of the Year. Neil.
All right, the Outstanding Organization Award gives us the opportunity to acknowledge the associations, nonprofit organizations, and businesses whose contributions and corporate philosophies through the efforts of their employees enrich our community. I'm very pleased to present this year's award to the Chinese Culture and Community Service Center. We're joined by Executive Director Chi Shang Li. More than 35 years ago, the CCACC was founded as a grassroots community center with a mission to help new immigrants assimilate into American society and to preserve the Chinese culture for those now living here. Thousands have become naturalized American citizens with the organization's help. While its core mission has remained the same, the CCACC has grown tremendously, now offering dozens of programs that run the gamut from adult daycare and in-home care for seniors to after-school cultural and educational programs for youth to an on-site Pan-Asian clinic staffed by volunteered physicians who provide much-needed health care to the uninsured. The organization also reaches out into the broader community, hosting events such as the 2-week Chinese New Year celebration at Lake Forest Mall, which is a must-go every year, through which the entire community can explore the rich cultural heritage. The work is carried out by nearly 100 employees and a tireless volunteer corps who work together to make the CCACC a vibrant, relevant, impactful place for thousands of local residents. In recognition of its very worthwhile mission and extraordinary achievements, it gives me great pleasure to present the 2018 Outstanding Organization Award to the Chinese Culture and Community Service Center.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Qishang Li. I'm the Executive Director of CCACC, Chinese Culture and Community Service Center. On behalf of CCACC, I'm honored and also humbled by this award. The mayor have told you several stories. I have one short story. Yesterday, mayor and Lori Ann, your council member, came to CCACC to visit us. We have a nice meeting and nice lunch. We have some discussion. This morning, I received an email listing all the things we can work together. Isn't that great? Maybe some of you are not aware of CCACC. We are actually located very prominently on 270. If you go 270 northbound, once you pass exit 8, you will see a fleet of about 20 buses. That's where we are. And we occupy about 41,000 square feet space to provide all the services. I would like to take this opportunity to let you know CCACC has been in existence for over 35 years based on some of the core values of our organization. One is we care with love and compassion. We serve with sincerity and integrity. And we thrive with joy and harmony. On behalf of our board of directors, which there are 15 of them, and over 2,000 members, and hundreds of volunteers and the staff, and our patron, I humbly accept this award. We will continue on our journey and make CCACC serve the community of Gaithersburg, and we will try to make Gaithersburg a better place to live. Thank you.
And next, I'd like to invite Council Vice President Ryan Spiegel to deliver our Distinguished Citizen Award. Ryan.
Good evening again. We are delighted to present this year's Distinguished Citizen Award to Mike Busey. And if you could come up and join me here at the podium while I have a chance to talk a little bit about you. And while he's coming up, I'll tell you all a quick story. Earlier this evening, those of us who've been involved in city service for a long time were having a big debate about the pronunciation of Mike's last name. I think on the video they said Bucci, and Bucci, and then some of us said, no, it's Busey. Come stand with me over here, Mike.
Okay.
And I think it's a testament to Mike that nobody really knew the answer because he's such a humble and easygoing guy who's just here to hang out and serve, and he's just known to so many of us as Mike. I think that's a testament to him. Mike has lived in Gaithersburg for nearly 45 years, and no one is more entrenched in this community than him. He taught in the MCPS school system for 37 years, 20 of them working with youth at the Phoenix School, an alternative high school for students with substance abuse issues. He spent the last 5 years of his teaching career at Gaithersburg High School, and along the way, he shared his wisdom and insights as a member of the city's Educational Enrichment Committee for more than 20 years. That's where I first got to know Mike, serving on that committee. Upon retirement, he decided to get really busy. Mike considers himself a professional volunteer, and his kind-hearted efforts have benefited many local organizations, including Lord's Table Soup Kitchen, where he washes dishes, Gaithersburg Help, where he delivers food, hospice caring, where he helps others as a bereavement counselor and talks about grief in high school health classes, and Habitat for Humanity, where he helped build the Maple Hill homes right here in Gaithersburg, and where he went on 3 global village trips to help build homes in El Salvador. Oh yeah, he's also taken kids on field trips along the C&O Canal, does trail maintenance work for national parks out west, that's his vacation, sings in the Augustana Lutheran Church Choir, canes chairs as a hobby, and plays drums in the band Ragged Company. Mike has a passion.
Nice plug.
Nice plug, he says. Mike has a passion for life, clearly, and we in Gaithersburg are very fortunate to be on the receiving end of all of that passion and enthusiasm. So it's with great pleasure that I present the 2018 Distinguished Citizen Award to Mike Busey. Busey?
Thank you. Thank you.
Come on over.
I do have a few words. I'm transitioning. I went to Italy in December and met some relatives that I didn't know existed, and so I'm feeling Bucci. I'm feeling Bucci. So welcome to a few of my 15 minutes of fame. This has been really nice. We all know there are thousands of us in Gaithersburg that continually show up and do a great job for our community. So thank you for choosing me to be the face of those thousands. I'm part of the story of the greatest city in the world. I love hearing the mayor say that. And I've been around long enough to recall Southern States on Summit Avenue and Ross Theaters in Gaithersburg Square, which doesn't qualify me as an old-timer, but I'm working on it. I'm really excited to ride in the Labor Day Parade, especially because that cousin that I met in Italy will be here for his first visit to the United States in September. However, my wife says that I've become insufferable since getting the news of this award. And I'm finding that, but honey, I'm the distinguished citizen of the world, of the greatest city in the world, doesn't get me any favors. And my band, Ragged Company, couldn't get a job at a city event. I live in Deer Park, right behind where the book festival will be occurring in May, and there are original owners of the 1960s homes there living right next door to people that are brand new to our country. When we moved here, we knew we liked the place because on Friday nights we would go up to the elementary school with our kids for family fun night, and then the next day meet at the counter of Diamond Drugs and talk over the show from the night before. When our kids had a conflict because there was a single box of Fruit Loops behind the counter, and I had 2 kids, the waitress would walk over and walk down to Center Market and buy more cereal and come back, and hence the solution to their conflict, which Gaithersburg is a city that works together on solutions. When people ask me about this town, I tell them that Gaithersburg does a great job of acting like a small town. I'm not taught at Gaithersburg High School with the mom of the new junior mayor. And I got to meet Zaid and got my picture taken with Zaid tonight, so pretty excited about that. There are so many ways to be involved in a city that invites, welcomes, and encourages citizen input. I served on the Education Enrichment Committee since its inception. Are there any members of the Education Committee here? We help the city decide on grants for things like keeping teen parents in school and ways to assist parental involvement. We met in the Wells Robertson House, which does great work with the homeless and those with addiction issues, which is a subject dear to my heart since most of my teaching career was with addicted youth. For Montgomery County Public Schools, an issue that is in desperate need of being addressed, and I'm hopeful that the county can resurrect a school for students in recovery and support those who are trying to strengthen and solidify their commitment to sobriety. All of my interactions with the city have been positive, from public works to planning, to police, to recreation, to city events, and now the senior center. My children love the city. Joe worked at the skate park, and when I told him about this award, he mentioned Smitty as a mentor. And I think Smitty's trying to turn the senior center into a teen center. My daughter, Sarah, interned in high school with Louise Kaufman, and she's had a career as an advocate for the environment. She'll be watching this on YouTube from Peru. I call myself a professional volunteer, and can you keep a secret? It's fun. Since I'm selfish, I don't do anything unless it's fun. It's fun because of the work, because of the people that you get to meet, the people that you get to help, but especially the people that you work with. So my goal in life is to be useful. I hear the city saying thank you to me, but I want to say thank you to the city and the organizations and people that I work with for giving me the opportunity to fulfill my life's goal. Famous Amos said, volunteering is reaching your hand into the darkness to help another into the light, only to discover that it's your own. Ram Dass said, we are all ultimately only walking each other home. We are all walking each other home. So City of Gaithersburg, thank you for this sweet recognition.
I'm so glad you said yes. That was incredible. Thank you. Man, there has been some poetry here tonight. That was just beautiful. So congratulations to Mike, to Larry, and everyone involved in CCACC. We are so inspired by you, your contributions that help make Gaithersburg the warm, welcoming community that it is. Inspire us. Just great. There's so much to be excited about here in Gaithersburg. In the spirit of Volunteer Appreciation Month, we ask all of you to please continue sharing your time and your ideas and your talents, allowing us to maintain the strong, incredible sense of community that makes our city so special. And let's continue to do great things. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us.